Hello and welcome to my channel In Search of Wonder. My name is Anne and this is my weekly reading vlog. I'm going to apologize in advance and warn you that this is not my typical weekly reading vlog. So if you are new here, just so you know that, it's not usually how it goes. And for those of you who have been following my channel for a while, and those of you who are in my community, fair warning, there's not a lot of talk about books going on. This is mostly a life update sort of vlog going on here. So you have been warned, proceed at your own risk. It is Wednesday afternoon and I am here with not coffee today, but an Earl Grey tea latte, unsweetened. And I have a life update and a reading update. The reading update is I haven't read hardly anything because of life. Life is just lifing, you know, between all of my various activities and obligations for which I am paid and the activities and obligations for which I am not paid. I have had almost zero free time the past few days, and it is most unfortunate because I am doing a buddy read with Miriam and Kelly of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and I'm doing a buddy read with Bethany of Love and Treason by Jamie Ogle, and we have a group read of Sense and Sensibility for February for the Jane Austen celebration. All three are books that I want to read. I definitely want to read them. So it's not like, this is not duty reading by any means. It's merely that there's a sense of time pressure, I guess, you know, like a deadline sort of. There's not really, like, it's not really like that. It's just, you know, you feel like when you are committing to read with someone, you feel like you have to be timely with your reading. But thankfully, a lot of us are in the same boat. So I don't feel alone in this. I'm not the only one who has struggled to get my reading in, but that's my update. I haven't read a lot, but I will give you my brief thoughts about what I am reading and how I've been enjoying it. So first of all, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell I am reading, and I feel a little weird. This parking lot is suddenly very busy and there's a lot of people around, so I feel a little weird holding this book up, so I'm going to put it down now. But you saw it, right? Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I am through chapter 10. So I have made good progress, honestly, but it took a little bit of effort. So it is very interesting so far. It's very intriguing. I feel like mostly the world has been, you know, like established and the, like, all of the setup is in play for the most part. We still have not been completely introduced to the Jonathan Strange part of the picture. He has not shown up fully yet, so he's just been mentioned in the footnotes. So we will see, and mentioned not by name. So we will see what happens when he shows up on the picture. I'm not really sure how all that's going to play out. So we haven't gotten very far into the story yet, but I am enjoying it. And a lot of people have told me that it is very Dickensian in its feel. And I think I see that with the characters. The characters could be lifted from a Dickens novel in many ways, for sure. I also see some heavy Austen influence in the prose. I feel like Susanna Clarke was purposely mimicking Austen's dialogue style in some ways. I haven't really noticed if she has like the, you know, how Austen has like the free indirect discourse or whatever that they say. I don't know that that's there. I haven't really paid close attention to that, but I don't know, the way she styles the sentences and the dialogues, like with the dashes and stuff. I can't remember if Dickens does that too, because it's been a bit since I read a Dickens book. I read one in the fall of 2023. That was the last Dickens I read. So I can't remember that particularly, but I do know that that is a common feature in Austen's books. So, and I just feel like the phraseology is very Austen-esque. So that has been fun. There's also been like just these funny, ironic comments or statements that are made that, again, are very Austen-like. They could be Dickens-like as well. I just haven't read Dickens's recently, so he doesn't come to mind as readily when I come across that sort of thing. Here's just a couple examples of those kind of little funny statements that the author just pops in here and there. One, there's 3 gentlemen who are observing a young woman who has passed away. And the one says, "And she was quite tolerable to look at, you say?" said Mr. Lascelles. "You never saw her?" said Drawlight. "Oh, she was a heavenly creature, quite divine, an angel." "Indeed. And such a pinched-looking ruin of a thing now. I shall advise all the good-looking women of my acquaintance not to die," said Mr. Lascelles. And then another one was, okay. Oh, I was going to read another one, but it's a big spoiler. So, boo. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so I won't read it, but it was pretty funny. So you just have to take my word for it. It's not like it's a funny book all the way through or comedic all the way through. It's just these little comments and the way that the author says things, just throws it in there like Austen does. That makes me laugh. Speaking of Austen, the other thing I've been reading is Sensibility. And I am up through page 54, which is not as far as I wanted to be at this point in the game, but I'm still working my way through it, and slowly but surely I will read this. If I pick up anything next, I'm going to read this some more today. So far I have gotten to the point where the Dashwood mother and sisters have left Norrell, and they are on their way to, oh, what is the place where they say? Barton Park, I think. And they're going to be staying in the cottage there. And so, you know, we're still, again, in the place where we're just laying down the story, laying the groundwork for what is going to happen, establishing the characters and the relationships and all of that kind of stuff. I'm really enjoying the footnotes and the annotations by David M. Shapard here. Sometimes it's excessive in my opinion in that I'm like, oh, I already knew that. But I know that there are people who would be reading this who it wouldn't be obvious to them probably, because I know it wasn't obvious to me the first time I read Austen. I've learned a lot of things since I have read about the turns of phrase that she uses and the way words are used in that era as opposed to now, and some of the things that Austen was trying to accomplish in her writing. So some of it I feel like is unnecessary for me, but I see why it's there. I see why it would be a benefit to other readers. And when that happens, it does a little bit like, okay, I interrupted the flow of my reading for that. I didn't need that. But at the same time, there are plenty of occasions when I am very grateful for his notes because they explain a lot of things. Like, for example, at the beginning of the story, there's a lot of discussion about finances. And so he goes into detail about the legal aspect of wills and estates and that kind of stuff, and the way things are bequeathed or whatever in the will, the way the finances go down, and also about how much money someone in a certain situation of life should expect to have or would need to have. He does a great job of giving perspective on that. And so that's the sort of information that I find particularly helpful and useful and really adds a good layer of understanding to the novel. And also his commentary on the themes is very much appreciated. I don't think that part is like heavy-handed or overdone. Oh, and I don't think he's reading into anything that Austen is trying to say, which I have seen plenty of that in my day, and it really annoys me, but I don't see that in this. I feel like what he's drawing out as far as themes and stuff definitely seems intentional on Austen's part, and she's working within a framework that already existed, that he is also interpreting from. So I think that he seems to be correct in that. So I'm enjoying that. And then finally, and I have it on my Kindle, so I don't have a copy to show you, of Love and Treason by Jamie Ogle. And I have literally just started that. I think I have made it through 2 chapters so far, and so far enjoying it. The writing is pretty good. We're just meeting the characters, and we've met Valentine, who the story is about, and getting a sense of his character and who he is. Currently, so far, I have come to the conclusion that he is a rich young man who is a strong Christian who has ADHD. That's what I'm thinking so far. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with his character from there. And now, that is my life update and my reading update for now, thus far in the week. This might be all you get, guys. We'll see. I've got... Well, actually, I already found out that tomorrow is a 2-hour delay because we're getting ice overnight here. And I'm very grateful for that because I personally do not drive on ice or even like remotely icy conditions. That makes me nervous. Okay. It doesn't take much to make me not want to drive because I don't like to drive in the first place, but add any sort of conditions on top of that and I just strongly dislike. So I am happy to get the extra time tomorrow for the sun, because by the time I leave the house, probably things will have warmed up that there won't be any danger of icy situations. So, happy about that. So that means I might get in a little extra hour of reading tomorrow, or I may stay up late tonight reading, you know, because I can. So that's that. But then we do have basketball games tomorrow night and Friday night. But I think I am free on Saturday, but you know, I usually make this video on Saturday, so we'll see. I may have one other clip to share with you of my reading. So anyway, that's how it's going so far, and I will see you next time. Bye. Shortly after I made the last clip that you saw, I received information that a family in our community was undergoing a crisis, and while it did not directly affect or involve us and our family, something of that nature kind of has a shockwave ripple effect that extends to all of the people in the surrounding communities, which was the case for us. Our school community was affected by it, as well as the community in which the family lived in their neighborhood. And so all of us, for all of the whole day, Thursday, Wednesday night and into Thursday, it was just a very stressful time. And I have discovered in times of like serious stress and trauma and crisis, I cannot focus on reading anything. And so definitely no reading was happening. I was constantly checking Facebook for updates, contacting friends, texting people, trying to help physically, praying, etc., and wasn't really keeping on top of anything otherwise in my online community, in my online life. So that is where I was occupied on Thursday. And the situation, the urgent aspect of the situation was resolved Thursday night, which was a great relief to all of us who were tangentially involved. But I say that with a little bit of a sense of guilt because I know that the actual ongoing situation is going to be difficult for the family involved for a long time to come, I'm sure. And our landscape as a family, as a community, a school community, has changed a little bit as well. Obviously, we were not as deeply affected as the people who were right in the middle of it, but again, the shockwave ripple effect has affected all of us. And so all day yesterday, even though the urgency of the crisis was gone, I found that when I wasn't actively doing something, I just needed quiet headspace. So I couldn't listen to anything. I haven't watched YouTube videos in a few days. I haven't kept up with comments. I haven't read anything. I just wanted silence in my head. So things are getting back to, to normal for us. And again, I feel a little bit guilty saying that because I know not everybody is back to normal now. And my heart goes out to all of the people who were directly affected and the families that are still experiencing a crisis at a certain level. And so I'm continuing to keep them in my prayers. And I know you don't know what's going on and you don't know them, but God knows. So if you can take a minute to pray for them, I know God hears and answers prayer. And so that's where I have been. I've read nothing much since I made the last date other than a few paragraphs in Sense and Sensibility and in Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I'm getting back to my normal emotional, mental status quo, I guess. So if I have time today, once I'm done with all of my housework and stuff, I will probably be able to do some reading, but nothing substantial to report on that end, no new information. But I did want to say that on Wednesday morning, a video went live on my channel of a collaboration that I did with my sister and her YouTube channel. So I hope that you watch that if you haven't already. I hope that you would also go and show my sister some love on her channel at Cruising for Treasure. Someone had asked me, and others I'm sure are curious, what books I ended up choosing to give to her. Well, you will have to watch her video to find that out. And full disclosure, I haven't even watched her video yet. So I need to go do that. But go and watch her video and comment on it and subscribe if you would like, and definitely enter the giveaway. There are options for you to follow our Instagram channels, etc. So please enter the giveaway. I'll put the link for it in the description box here as well. It's in the video that I posted on Wednesday. So that's it. In other news, we had a basketball game last night, 2 basketball games, middle school and high school, and it was interesting. The middle school team won and the high school team lost by just a little bit, so they played hard and they played well. My younger son was able to nail one of his free throws. He actually got quite a few shots in that game, so I was very proud of him. And my older son played great in his game. He really did a great job. In fact, his coach told him it was probably the best he'd ever played. So that was a sweet ending to a terrible week. And also, cherry on top, my husband's parents came down, so Grandma and Grandpa were there, and we had a good time of fellowship with them afterwards. So that was very good and something that was very needed by all of us. And so, sorry to be a bit of a downer on this video today, but that is where I am. That is where my life is right now. And looking forward to better things this coming week. And I will see you next time.